I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby. Yeah, I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby. Listen to Iron Maiden, baby, with me. Ooh. Her boyfriend's a dick. He brings a gun to school and he simply kick my ass if he knew the truth. He lives on my block and he drives an IROC, but he doesn't know who I am and he doesn't give a damn about me, 'cause I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby. Yeah, I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby. Listen to Iron Maiden, baby, with me. Ooh. And I'm done with that song. By Wheatus.
This puppet is amazing.
I made it.
He made it. That's the sock puppet. You know why, Sassy Suhini?
Why?
I was going to replace him because I don't need him as a sock puppet, and he'd be like, "Hello, Retro Dan. You are so cute and handsome today." That's what I was going to do.
That would be amazing.
Wouldn't it be cool? We could do the whole fucking show without him. We could just have, Jason Relaxation, who's part of this bullshit podcast, and replace him with a sock puppet, and he's like, "Okay, Retro Dan, we're ready to record. You are so cool. Just remember to be funny."
If only people could actually see this.
I know.
Amazing.
It'd be fucking cool.
Well, there you go. There's a photo for your
My Instagram.
Instagram.
I might do it.
You should do it.
I'll do it. Let's see. I don't know. You're gonna have to show me how to fucking do it again, because I don't remember how to do that stuff.
I'll show you.
Do you mind being on my Instagram, or is that weird?
No, that's fine.
Because you got to be aware of all these
oh my god, there's even like a little little.
Oh, it's legit.
Oh, like there's like a little thing in there to.
Yeah.
I fucking sewed the shit out of that bad boy.
But
I'm talking about a puppet.
Yeah, sock puppet.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, because it looks like it looks a bit like scary though.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know if
it's a monster. It's supposed to be.
Yeah, but I don't know if you could sell it at the markets or anything, because I think it'd frighten kids.
Oh, toughen up.
That's right. Harden up, you fucks.
Yep. Eat a cup of concrete.
See, that particular one doesn't have arms. The other one that I made has arms.
Yeah, it has arms.
Why does it only have one eye?
It fell off.
It'd be like Kermit the Frog when he used to go, "And next we got on the show, Wheatus. Yay!" That's right. Let's introduce this bullshit podcast. This is Invert the Why, episode Stardate Log, Captain's Log 12.1.5.9, and the USS Invert the Why is orbiting another planet of retrodom and bullshit, and already there's chaos because our Veritech has fallen down, but in defense of it, shouldn't be standing up like that, but we don't know
that was someone that didn't understand what the Veritech was.
No. Jason Relaxation's with me as always.
Suhini clearly doesn't know either. She's just placed it upside down on the shelf.
And Sassy Suhini is back with us.
Hello.
And she doesn't know how to put a Veritech upright. We'll have to fucking educate her.
Yeah,
but you know what? We don't talk to you about Robotech.
No.
You're not an expert on Robotech,
No, I'm not. I have no idea.
Clearly.
No. Well, you know what? I might be able to get you into that bullshit.
Yeah,
really?
I reckon that'd be up your alley.
I reckon it would be actually.
Yeah.
Because it's a really cool anime from back in the day, back in 1985 actually. When
I think it actually predates that.
It does, but 1985 when Harmony Gold took it and made it westernized.
Oh, that's a whole rabbit hole.
That's another rabbit hole. And it's got lots of cheese in it, like romantic cheese in it. Like
It's very Japanese.
Yeah,
See,
fighter pilots.
I haven't really been able to get into anime except for like Studio Ghibli stuff.
Yep, I got a Totoro here somewhere.
I know. It's one of the first things I noticed when old mate told me that you guys were doing a podcast. I'm like, you got a Totoro. I'm in.
You don't do anime.
I don't have anything against it. I just don't like. The only thing that I've really watched is Studio Ghibli stuff, which I adore.
Yeah,
like Princess Mononoke and Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind, and
Spirit
Away, House Moving Castle.
There's a couple of to me, if you're going to start into the anime. I have a Manamana. That's right. No. If you're going to start down that rabbit hole, like the basics, right, for beginners is like Akira.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think came out in '88.
The motorcycles.
The motorcycle was around here
That
somewhere.
actually sounds familiar.
Akira's an awesome movie.
Yeah.
There's...
Well, if you've seen Ready Player One, it features quite heavily in Ready Player One.
I haven't seen Ready Player One.
seen
I've read the
either.
book.
How the fuck have you not seen it?
I haven't
It's
seen
supposed to be
As
good, isn't
a
it?
gamer, you have to watch that movie.
Yeah, but listen here, you fuck. I've read the book. So go fuck yourself.
No,
the
I've
book
read-
came
I've-
out before the movie.
It always
so if
does.
you want to go down that
I've-
rabbit hole, you
All right.
fuck. No.
So shout out to Super Simon, who bought me the book before the movie came out, and I've read the book that Super Simon provided
Shout out
to
to
me
Super Simon.
prior to the. He fucking loves it when we do that.
I know he loves it because then he rings you up. He goes, "Ooh, I got a shout out."
Yeah, so I've read the book too, but the movie is so well done and such a visual.
Okay,
All right. That's on the agenda.
Is it out on Blu-ray yet?
Oh, it's got God,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
it's out on
yeah.
fucking Netflix or Stan.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
I might see if I can
sure.
buy it on the Blu-ray. I haven't seen it on Netflix.
Yeah, you want
Really?
to
Or
see
maybe
it on the
Stan.
Blu-ray. Yeah, I think it's
I don't
Stan.
have Stan. Fuck this. I was just talking to him upstairs about it.
Yeah.
The modern era.
Yeah.
Everyone wants you to subscribe to something.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, absolutely.
And if you want to go down the rabbit hole of gaming, which we won't at the moment,
Yeah.
all the major publishers are going, okay, we've got a subscription service, and for $10 a month, you can play all of our games. And it sounds great on paper, but before you know it, you're subscribing to multiple different publishers on different platforms.
Yeah.
Sounds like PC
Then,
gaming.
Before you start talking about that, you've got stuff on TV.
Yeah.
So, you want to subscribe to cable, Stan, Netflix,
Yep.
right? And I was telling you upstairs, Netflix are in shit. They lost $30 billion in revenue, I think it was last year.
Yeah.
Because all of the major TV networks or studios are making their own streaming services.
Yeah.
So they're pulling all of their content off Netflix.
Yeah.
Like Disney's a classic. They're taking all their Disney programs off Netflix.
Yeah.
And so Netflix are kind of floundering with their own homegrown produced content.
It's kind of a big deal.
And it's kind of not great then. Like, it's gone downhill.
Yeah.
Netflix pure
The only thing you ever
Yeah.
watch in it now is stand-up comedy, and that's it.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I loved the Netflix originals, like some of the stuff that they had there, like the House of Cards for one.
Yeah, it was great.
Just freaking great.
except for the
right?
last
Except for the
season.
last one.
Yeah, but that was out circumcised.
Circumcised.
Circumcised. Yeah, probably. Kind of in a
Man,
way.
I'm worried about me today. I can't say shit.
Yeah, you were talking about Starbucks logs and everything. It's like, yeah, we've already had the experience.
You know what?
with the
I
logs.
just did a shit before this podcast.
Yeah.
That never happened.
Actually, you did it during the start of the podcast,
No,
we had to switch off and
That's
start
right. We
again.
were recording. I got to do a shit. And start the podcast all over again. So I'm
Yeah,
not,
but they had House of Cards, they had The Crown, they had Mindhunters, they had. Oh, what else did
There's
they
a
have?
lot of good stuff
there
on
they were rolling out some really good shows that I've
stand-up was
loved.
the best.
And their documentaries as well. Like
Docuseries are fantastic.
Yeah.
Making a Murderer.
Making a
well.
Murderer
Yeah.
is brilliant.
Okay, that's what got me to subscribe to Netflix.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lucky Lisa because she was the one that said, you need to watch Making a Murderer, and I said, well,
you
where
were
is
the one
it?
that told me to watch Making a Murderer.
Yeah, well, so then see how things work.
Yep.
So Lucky Lisa's responsible for this.
Yep.
Because she said you'll love this one, and I
Yeah.
went, oh, where do I watch it? She goes Netflix. I go, well, I don't have that bullshit.
Yeah.
She's like, well, you need to grow up and act
And just deal with it.
and stop and let go of the Betamax.
Yeah.
It ain't coming back.
Yeah.
And watch this shit
Yeah.
on Netflix, and I did, and that's such
Heaven
an
forbid you
awesome-
have to stream something.
That's an awesome documentary.
And
right?
then the Ted Bundy.
Oh, that
Ted Bundy
was awesome.
tapes.
That
Yeah.
was
Oh,
so
fuck.
good.
You got confession tapes as well.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my
Have you
God.
seen Evil Genius?
Yep.
Yes.
That was that was freaky too.
What was the one with the nun? That was fucking.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
that was
that
the
was
keepers.
scary.
That was bad. Did you see the nun? And what happened was they reckon,
Yeah.
or the I think it was the
Oh,
mother.
yes. Okay, sorry, the penny just dropped on the nun one now.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's called the keepers.
Yes,
right. And
that
they
was
saw the
messed
guy.
up.
They saw the guy drive down with a habit, which is the nun's outfit, in the car,
Yeah.
making fun of it. And they reckon that was it the mother of the guy that was accused of doing it.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
She saw the habit on a mannequin in an
In
attic.
an attic, yeah.
Later, many years later, and she said, I know it was that guy, but they could never prove it. But he was seen driving around the town wearing the nun's habit. And then I saw that he had a nun's habit in his attic. Holy fucking
That is
fuck.
messed
But you know
up.
what? it was not just the guy that did it. I reckon some of the priests were in on it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
she was gonna
all the abuse and shit that was
she was
happening
going to
in
be
the
the
school, right?
whistleblower
Yeah.
on all the abuse that was going on in that school.
Yeah.
And she knew about it and couldn't
Yeah.
live on. That was Sister Kathy, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
And so she was going to go to the cops and say, look, there's some stuff going on here.
Yeah.
And I reckon, unfortunately,
They've just...
I don't think the priest did it,
Yeah.
but I think he had someone do it.
Yeah,
And
and
that
that
guy-
he knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, that
but talking about
mate.
talking about whistleblowers. So the other great documentary that we were talking about before was The Great Hack. So they still,
brand new.
they,
I've
you know,
seen this.
they're producing still some pretty reasonable content. Let's just not talk about Discovery because that's just
Shout out to Serious Sam, mate. You cannot convince me that that's any fucking good. You can't. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Look, Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah.
We'll get to this now. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's dive in.
Discovery is a fucking debacle.
Yeah.
But I saw this week, or was it the last week, and I compared notes with you. We saw the trailer for Star Trek Picard.
Yep.
And I have to say that it looked okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't completely disgusted by it.
No.
But nor was I completely sold by it.
Yeah.
Right. There were a couple of concerns about it. And I sent you a
And old mate still looks fantastic.
Oh, he's a beast.
Oh,
You're talking
just-
about Patrick Stewart.
Yes, Sir
He's a
Patrick.
beast.
He's just such a freaking legend.
He's a beast.
He's just
How old
amazing.
is he? He'd have to be
gotta
late 80s.
He's no
Mid-80s?
late 70s, I think.
I think he's in his 80s.
You can Google that.
Let's quick.
Let Google
I
it.
love it.
Come on,
Google
quick,
it, bitch.
Quick.
3 people just look up their phones.
Quick. Okay.
You're going to beat me to it. You got
Yeah.
quicker, nimbler fingers than I do. But I think Patrick...
79.
Okay.
Late 70s.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Well, still at that age.
Yep.
Now, I told you the story, you might have heard, but maybe you didn't because you're not listening to our podcast anymore, and that hurts me.
I do.
That hurts
Just
me.
not all.
No, I made a
I
comment.
wonder why our fucking
ratings
listens
have gone
dropped
down.
by 50%.
Yes. Look at the 2 people that listen to us. I was telling somebody on this podcast, I think it might have been Rocket Russell, they did a, shout out to him, they did the screening process of it.
Yeah.
And Patrick Stewart's performance was considered to be really good.
Yeah.
So he's not the problem.
No.
But it didn't go over well with those people that saw the initial screening of Picard.
Yeah.
And so, look, then they released the trailer. Who knows what that actually really entails?
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't really show a lot, but what it did show me was that they weren't ramming it down our throats of the current Kelvin timeline. And so it's not really known whether or not it is Kelvin, but it looks
Yeah.
like it's actually gone back to Prime,
Yeah.
which is good.
And it
so
didn't have that J.J. Abrams lens flare feel.
No,
but it didn't even, there were some parts where I was like, this feels like Star Trek, and then other ones I'm like, this actually just feels like a completely different movie feel to it. Like
yeah.
it didn't actually feel like Star Trek, not in a bad way necessarily, but
Looked
so,
a little
yeah.
bit cheap in places. There was a scene where...
But I kind of dig that. I like it when it
Nah,
looks cheap.
kind of looked a little
cheap.
bit... No, can I tell you? There was a scene where Patrick Stewart or somebody's fighting these black guards with like
Yeah.
most motorcycle helmets on there. Mate, it could have been on steps at the front of the Woolies down the street. You know, it didn't look that great. There were some seats that didn't look that much.
Maybe it
strong.
was.
They
They travelled all the way out to fucking Western Sydney to
in the
record
future.
Yeah. Out in the riff.
Out in the riff, and they've gone in front of a couple of stairs and a Woolies,
Yeah.
right? And there's a couple of people sitting on the stairs, and they go move, and they
Yeah.
go, and if you give me a pack of dozens, you fuck.
Yeah,
and, they're, all right,
and he's
cool.
got the pit bull in the fucking in the trailer. He's got his pit bull
Yes,
as well, so
yeah.
that fits right in.
Yeah.
'cause
It's the roof.
Yeah.
it is the riff.
So I just sent you a video too,
Yes,
where there's a
which I
guy,
did watch.
and it's got a lot of detail about what's going on behind the scenes, which might explain why.
Super concerning.
It's a bit concerning why Picard looks the way it currently looks as a show, because I couldn't get my head around it before I watched this video
Yeah.
as to why Star Trek Picard looks really radically different from Discovery, because
Yeah.
Discovery went down that path because CBS fundamentally don't have the rights
Yeah.
to the Prime or the original timeline.
Yeah.
They've got the Kelvin timeline, that's
Yeah.
theirs. And when I watched
And
the
what
trailer...
a pile of shit it
Oh,
was.
fuck, I'm done with it. I can't watch it.
Yeah.
I can't even watch it because it's boring.
I
Fuck all
just
the
don't
other
like.
shit.
It just seems so far fetched. Like with Michelle Yeoh's
stupid.
character, dying and then coming back
Oh.
as like from some other timeline as like the evil twin version of her, and
It's so dumb. We went over
As
it
hot
last
as
time
she
you were
is,
here.
that is the most disappointing character
I know.
in
The
Star Trek
the last
history.
time you were here, we ranted about... Oh,
Yeah.
I fucking really
yeah,
ranted
yeah,
about
you
it.
did. Oh yeah, you went
And I can't. I'm not going to revisit it because it's going to waste time. But at the end of the day, it's not a good show.
No,
even if
garbage.
it wasn't based on. Forget about the fact that it's ignoring all of the lore, all of the source material of the original show.
Yeah.
Forget all of that for 1 second.
Yeah.
I don't like the show because fundamentally, to me, it doesn't make sense and it's fucking boring.
Yeah.
Right?
I got five episodes in, six
Same.
episodes in. I was like, yeah, I'm done.
I'm done with it.
I'm done.
I'm done with it.
And I'm just going to put it out there. My husband is a fan of this
Shout
show.
out to Yedinyak.
Shout out to Yedinyak. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
I'm just walking away.
Yeah, there's nothing much to say.
No.
Yeah, I don't know where we went wrong.
Especially if you watch The Next Generation.
Yeah.
Right? And even the Voyager.
Oh, Voyager.
Which I at
is
first,
the best.
Okay, I'll be honest with you here. At first, I was so much of a big fan of Next Generation that when DS9 came along, and I didn't really like DS9 at first, but then as the story progressed, I kind of got into it.
That's what most people feel about DS9, though.
But
yeah.
when Voyager came along, I like the fact that they're going back to their traditional roots of it's a starship. I like the idea that the starship's been flung in the distant dark recesses of the universe and they have to make their way back home. That's a great premise.
Yeah.
Probably the best premise of Star Trek, really, honestly.
Yeah.
Didn't mind all the characters. I thought, but actually, I hated Neelix because...
Yes, I did too.
Oh, fuck me,
Oh, my
man.
God.
Well,
You
and-
with your weird skull. Just piss off.
Yeah, but why was he the comedy relief?
I
And this
don't know.
But this is what I hated about it was the fact that for the first time in Star Trek history, in my opinion, they put in a comedy relief.
Yeah.
There was no need
But
for it.
you know what? The Doctor was comedic relief unto itself because of his inability to, look at
Doctor.
norms.
Okay, so the Doctor
Yeah.
was Data. He was Spock.
Yeah.
So every series of Star Trek except
Yeah.
DS9,
Yeah.
there was
has a Asperger's.
Yeah.
It has
character.
someone that wants to be human. He's Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They want someone that wants to be human but can't.
Yeah.
He's got limitations. And the Doctor was a great foil for that.
Great one, yeah.
You know, you're a hologram. So they established holographic technology in Star Trek Next Generation.
Yeah.
And then he was the holographic character. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And he couldn't have emotions, so he's like Data. Everyone wanted Data again.
Yeah.
How do you get around that? Well, that's the best way of doing it.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome. And I really think towards the end of Voyager, they had great stories.
Yeah.
And the first season of Voyager was way better than the first season of Next Generation, which was pretty average at best. I'm being kind. It was shit.
Yeah.
Right? And DS9 had a way better first season than Next Generation ever did. That's for sure. Next Generation's first 2 seasons were really bad, and you know why? There was a writers' strike.
Yeah.
So the Writers Guild were on strike for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And so they weren't able to produce many stories. And what they were doing was actually recirculating or recycling stories from the original show that never made it to TV. So these stories were like
That sounds like a really horrible idea.
Like B grade. Well, they couldn't. There was no stories.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
couldn't get stories. There were no writers for the show. They were all on strike.
Just make a
Yeah.
shorter season.
That's why the second season was actually probably arguably even more boring than the first.
Yeah.
At least in the first season, they were trying to do different things. This
Yeah.
is Next Generation we're talking about.
Yeah.
The second season was just dry. And they couldn't get it together because there were no writers for the show. And then when the third season came online, it was all changed. They changed everything. They even changed the uniforms from the one... This is fucking nerdy shit. From the one-piece spandex suits that they wore. You fucking look at Next Generation.
Yeah.
They wore one-piece spandex suits because the actors didn't like them.
Yeah.
They were really hot and they were really uncomfortable.
It's also
to wear,
really hard to
apparently.
go take a piss.
Yeah, they would have been. And if you walk
As
past...
a girl, I can understand and sympathise when you wear a jumpsuit. Not fun.
Camel toe.
Play suit, not a
Camel
good
toe.
idea.
But as a guy, it would have been
I
hard.
haven't had a
But
camel
in
toe
that,
experience.
you have a look at the first season again.
Is there camel toe?
No. But if you have a look at this
shame.
first season of Next Generation, I always used to think, wouldn't it be cool to be in the future on that ship?
Yeah.
But if I was wearing that suit and a hot chick walked past me, I'd get get a little micro penis boner, right? And the girls would be looking at your little bulge there and go, I'm not
But
going
you're in
out
the
on a
future.
date with
Surely
you.
they've got technology for that. There's probably
They would have had an enhancement.
Yeah.
Yeah, a holographic one.
Yeah. That would be it right there. Maybe it's something that they do with Pride. It's like, check out how big my bulge is. Like, yeah, you never know.
But maybe in the future, because they're all so diverse, and you can be a male and a female when you fucking feel like it. All you got to do is eat a fucking smashed avocado sandwich and you're fucking female, right? And then have a coffee and then you become male again. Like this afternoon, I'll be female, but by tomorrow morning, I'm a fucking male again. That'll be the future. Oh, fucking, I've probably offended 100 people, but you know what? Go fuck yourselves. You can't change my opinion. I'm 44 fucking years old. I'm not going to start changing now. That's it. And like Queen, you can't stop me now, you fucks. I'm going to keep ranting and raving. But what I'm saying is, Next Generation changed a lot in the third season, and that's where it really, in my opinion, started. Right?
Yeah.
And they had some great stories, and then by the seventh season, it was awesome. And you didn't want it to end, but they did end it.
Yeah.
And I think that was the right call.
Yeah.
But Picard, Star Trek Picard, going back to that, I wasn't horrified by what I saw with that trailer.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like, oh, yeah, that
This
looks
is gonna be
fucking
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't. And what I showed you on that video, or that video you just saw, there's a lot of intrigue behind the scenes where they've deliberately scaled back they call it New Trek, this new Kelvin timeline, New Trek.
Yeah.
So they've scaled that J.J. Abrams inspired bullshit.
Yeah.
And they've made it more traditional, which I like.
Yeah.
But what they've finally realised is a bunch of studios that are all invested in this. They have to agree to disagree, get over the legal bullshit, and try and make it more what the fans want, which is old Trek, traditional Trek.
Yeah.
Right? Whether or not that means that it's the original Prime timeline, I don't know. I don't think anyone really knows. At least I don't. But I'm glad to see what I saw in terms of they've scaled it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe there's going to be something there that pisses me off.
Yeah.
I'm sure there will be, but it wasn't in my face. When I watched Discovery, that's fucking in my face so many times. I hate the look of that show because it's not Star Trek, you know?
Did did Sir Patrick Stewart have any input?
Yeah, he does now.
Yeah.
Apparently what's come out in the last week or two, he's quite invested in the show and wants it to succeed. And God bless him for it. And he's writing stuff for it.
Yeah, see, that gives me hope.
That does,
because
me too.
he's if there's anybody that's going to bring that sensibility back into what Star Trek really was and what the
It's the
fans
guy that
really
drove
love,
it. Yeah,
it's the guy that drove it through,
now,
right?
He might write some stuff, but what might have his arm tied behind his back is the legal stuff. How far he can take it in terms of the look.
Yeah.
And the feel of it.
Yeah.
So I'm pleased to hear that it's definitely been toned down. That's been a conscious effort by the studio to tone it down a little bit from the new Trek.
Yeah.
This is CBS.
Yeah.
And they're allowing Patrick Stewart to have a lot of creative input to it. Because you're right, he's Picard. He's going to know what Picard would do,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
So it's a bit like Mark Hamill with Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. Disney didn't listen to him, and all the fans went, you know what? Fuck that movie, because Luke Skywalker wouldn't do it.
There's actually a petition now to get it remade.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
It's not going to
never
happen.
gonna
no.
Yeah.
But yeah, people are so upset.
You know what?
It's like Game of Thrones last
Well,
season.
you know what?
same thing.
You've raised something there. There's a couple of things that are coming up on top of my head now.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones was a fucking debacle.
That last season was fucking horrible.
Season. Okay, here's the thing about that, right? One of my friends, she only got into Game of Thrones when season 8 came out, right? So she watched it from season 1, episode 1, all the way through in the space of like 2 weeks.
As you do.
As you do.
Too much free fucking time.
That's
Jesus
Good
Christ.
on her. She binged
That's
the crap
fucking-
out of it.
that's
No,
a-
I think it probably took her a month actually.
That's actually pretty hardcore, yeah.
But she binged hard
Yeah.
and she watched it and so then she's the prime candidate to go, well, is season 8 truly that much different to the rest of the seasons, right? Because it's fresh in your mind.
yeah.
It didn't take 7 years for you
Does
to
it
get
make
through.
sense in sequence?
She got to season 8 and she was like, it was watching a completely different show.
Yeah.
It was a completely different show because it's not that I had an issue with what happened, but there was literally
actually do.
no process of fleshing out how it happened.
Yes, that's-
No character development.
No character development. It was just like, shit, we're out of time. We just got to tell you the bullet points. Let's
Yep.
just dot point it for you as quickly as possible.
Shit
And
just
what
happens.
The fuck was that scene?
So-
What the fuck was that scene with the Dothraki? Just, oh yeah, this is really good war strategy. I'll just send out my entire warhorse army.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just get, it
So there's
just
a couple
drove
of
me
things.
bonkers.
There's a couple of things here.
I need to eat a peanut. I'm sorry if I crunch.
Yeah, you're going to crunch on the audio, but and Who cares? We're so unprofessional. Who gives a shit?
Can you still hear that?
Yeah, of course
Yeah,
you can.
fucking oath I can.
You'd be
Yeah.
amazed when you listen back to it, all the table creaking and the chairs creaking. Oh, it's
Really?
unbelievable.
And that's mostly because our tables and chairs are fucking
mate,
garbage.
This is a shit show we're running
I
here.
apologise, but
No,
I
that-
needed my peanut. I'm really angry
Yeah,
about that.
Okay, so there's a couple of things here. Now, apparently, and I don't know the true reasoning for this, and I also don't know if it's true or not, but there's a lot of suggestion that after the fact that originally the two writers, D&D, I can't remember their names, but they call them
They're
D&D.
Benioff and
They were given the chance to extend the series beyond the, 8 seasons?
Yeah. Well,
So-
Martin bloody what's his face wanted it to. Oh, sorry, I should probably speak here.
Yeah.
What's his face wanted to. George R. R. Martin wanted it to go longer.
go longer.
He's like,
Yeah.
you need longer.
So they wanted
He was
to-
against it because it was so short and
That's right.
character
So
development.
They
yeah.
crammed it in there, and you're right. So by about the 4th or 5th episode, they went, "Oh shit, we've only got another 2 episodes.
We've
got to cram this in."
Someone press fast forward.
But this is my point that I'll make with the show as it is,
Yeah.
and it's some of it you can't fix because the real reason that the show went off the rails, as a purist, which I am,
The book wasn't done.
exactly.
Yeah.
The books weren't written.
Yeah.
Now, that's not really anyone's fault other than George R. R. Martin's. But
Who's
you know
slow
what?
as
But
fuck.
you know what? No. But what happened was he went to them and said to D&D,
yeah.
you guys know that I'm not going to have this book ready for you by the show's end.
Yeah.
This is what I recommend you do because this
Yes.
is the vision I have for the end of the show or end of the book of Song of Ice and Fire, which
Yeah.
is the books that
Yep.
these are based on. And they said, thank you, George, but no thank you. This
Yeah.
is our creative vision.
Yeah.
Right? And so they ran with their own creative vision.
Yeah.
Right? Now, the TV network, who
Yeah.
was it again? Was it
HBO?
HBO said to them, do you guys want to extend it? Because it's such a big,
It's a
freight
cash
train
cow
of
for us. Yeah.
It's a cash cow. Do you guys want to extend it past the, 8 seasons?
8 seasons.
Do you want to go to another 2 seasons? Because we'll give you the nod for that. They said no, right? Now,
Why?
I don't know why they said no, but they said no. And so all of a sudden, they had one season to
fit everything in.
cram their creative vision, not George R. R. Martin's
Yeah.
vision. Because by that stage, and that's documented, by the way,
Yeah.
he said, I don't agree with what they're doing. That is
And
not
it
my vision.
completely diverged.
That's right. It's not my vision of how this...
And there is
will end.
no way George R. R. Martin would have created a villain like the freaking Night King, which has been a central figure of
And get rid of it in about 1 minute?
In 1 minute.
By Arya.
By Arya. Look,
By Arya. She
I
just
got
ran
that.
up.
No, Arya, I think that's
Arya
great.
I can deal with, right?
Yeah.
She was probably the only person who had the skill set to freaking do it.
Yeah.
But... what was his purpose? Why was he there?
Yeah.
Why did he want to
Yeah.
take over?
Yeah.
Was there no communication?
Yeah.
Literally, you
Yeah.
just stuck at this
What was
elusive figure.
What was his motive for resurrecting all the dead
Exactly.
people and animals and
He was
dragons?
just a prick.
What would he want? Winterfell?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. And then, like,
who
why
was it?
was he taking all the other babies?
No.
And, like, oh my God, there was so much to
it
explore.
wasn't explained. That was one of the things
I'm
that
getting real angry.
that rant. That was
Yeah.
one of the things that George R. R. Martin said, I will flesh out in the books. Now, whether he
Yes.
does that or not, who actually knows? We
Yeah.
won't see that for a couple of years.
And there's so much to explore about that. Like, the fact that he was created by the children of the forest and,
Yeah.
like, all the...
Why was he taking the babies?
Yes.
That's the other one.
And what about Azor, what's his face? The
And
prophecy.
The prophecy. I was about to
prophecy.
say, what was this prophecy?
So it got shat on.
Yeah. Well, because I think the prophecy was part of the original source material of the books.
Yeah.
But the show left that hanging because they wanted to cram in as much as they could.
Exactly.
And so
And they referenced the prophecy time and time again
Yes,
in
they
the
do.
earlier seasons when Daenerys was out in the desert and there was a big red
Because
comet because they had the book.
they had the book. So they left that hanging. The prophecy was basically null and void
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
The other big thing that I really have a problem with the last season is that because they crammed it into only a few episodes, you couldn't really see very clearly the motive of Daenerys basically leveling King's
entire-
Landing.
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Now, I've since seen some videos saying don't necessarily get upset by her doing that because throughout the show there is evidence to suggest she was mad in herself.
Yeah,
she would have
absolutely.
been. She would have been the Mad Queen.
Yeah.
and it's also referenced in the book, so I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it
I'm
going.
okay with
Yeah.
that.
I'm okay with that
But
too.
There's
problem
one
is-
character that I hate more.
But the problem is, let me finish on this.
Yeah.
The problem is that they didn't flesh that out. What her motive was
Exactly.
to suddenly go, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to level the very city that I've tried to, conquer or
Yeah.
become queen of.
Yeah.
for my whole life, I'm just going to, in the middle of, the battle, I'm just going to level it.
Yeah.
Because bells make me sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a problem.
Yeah.
Not the fact that she did it, because that was referenced many, many times in the
there were
books
many
as well.
times. And look,
and it's in her blood. The Targaryens
and her
are mad.
killing, the Tarleys and everything like that. Like it was there was indication after indication that she had rage in her.
Yeah, that's okay. But because they didn't have enough time to flesh it out, it literally went from, I want to free people and I want to get rid of slavery and
burn that fucker down.
And I want to help everybody and I'm going to be the nice queen. And then she sits on the dragon and she goes, fuck it.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit, man, she's got
0 to 100.
0 to 100, and that's my big problem with it.
So this is why I said it's not that I have an issue necessarily with what happened, right? Like there were it's just sure, Night King had to die.
Fast forward.
You should put a big freaking spoiler warning on this FYI.
But at the end of the day, it's
been ages now.
No,
okay, fuck it. If you haven't watched it, too bad. Night King had to die. Daenerys saw that coming a mile away that she had to die. Bran becoming
that was bad.
So
Bran becoming
is that
king.
your one?
Okay, so if there's one character I did not understand the point of in the 8th season,
yours?
what the fuck was Brandon?
Okay.
Why was he in the werewood?
So-
where did he walk to?
What the fuck was a
did he
three-eyed
do?
raven?
So-
what was the point of it all?
Okay. So I'm going to agree with Jason Relaxation for a very first time.
I fucking hate that
Okay.
character.
My big problem with Bran is that what the point was him having all these powers, and then what I really, really, really hate,
I got a stitch from anger.
what I really, really hate is at the end they have to choose a king, and they go, "I just knew it was me." So Bran goes, "I'm a king."
Fuck you,
What the hell?
fucking
What the hell?
twat.
So you fought for all of this shit, and everybody just goes, "Who should be king?" And there's all these different people that think they should be king, and they line them up at the arena near King's Landing there.
Yeah.
And he just sits there.
And then they all listen to fuckface, who's supposed to be a prisoner of war.
Yeah. So they listen to Tyrion, right?
Who
And
I love. He's my favorite.
Tyrion,
favorite character.
But you know what? He was my favorite character in the books too.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
And also awesomely played by Peter Dinklage.
Just a legend. Yep.
But at the end of the day, they're in the arena there near King's Landing, and he sits
Grey
there.
Worm's about to chop his head off.
You know what he reminds me of?
What?
I'll call him out now. He would look like Pedro if he was on this podcast, sitting in that fucking chair, looking like smug. He'd be all smug and he'd go, lies. All of it lies. That's what he reminded me of. Shout out to Pedro. But the point is that he just goes, I know it was always going to be me, or something like that. And I went, what the fuck?
Why do you think I came all this way?
Yeah, I came all of this way. What the hell are you talking about?
Why do you think I let all of you motherfuckers die for me?
Yes. What? What was that point? And Daenerys rolls over and goes, yeah, okay. What the fuck? None of it made sense.
Not Daenerys. She was dead by then.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, she was dead by then. But they rolled over for it. And that was the other
And others like Jon Snow, off you go. Fuck off.
That's right, Jon Snow. You go on, fuck off, go back to the war.
My only solace that I take from that, right, is in the end, the Starks fucking won the Game of Thrones. Because Bran...
They were always going to.
Yeah,
Bran's king.
Yep.
Sansa's king of the Queen of the North.
That was stupid too. That really annoyed... Sorry to stop you there. That really annoyed me. She goes... You know, little brother, too many people in the North died for this cause. We can't become your king. Fuck off. What do you mean you can't become his king? Wouldn't you be happy for the fuck? He's crippled. He's been through all sorts of bullshit. Apparently he's got a third eye, like fucking crazy, And all of a sudden you go, no, I'm going to be a queen. Oh, bullshit.
Yeah, but she has a point because the North was never originally part of the Southern Kingdom. It was. No,
it was.
It wasn't. It's its own independent thing.
It was part of King's Landing. So that only became half, and that's in the books too. When King Robert came to King's Landing.
No, but I'm talking ages ago. I'm talking way back before all this shit.
Yeah. But what I'm saying at the start of the Song of Ice and Fire,
they were all part of it. They were all part of it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is halfway through the story,
they
decide they're going to break away from the Seven Kingdoms and they're going to be their own kingdom. That's fair enough because they're at war and they were at war with the Lannisters in King's Landing, so that would make sense.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is what doesn't make sense, in my opinion, is when Brandon gets named as the king.
Yeah.
He can't be our king.
He can't be our... Oh, sorry, Bran, I love you as a brother, and you are my brother, but you can't be our king. Too many people of the North died.
But it's like, he is the king of the North,
He's
you
the king of the
fucking
North
moron.
and the South. wouldn't you be happy? You'd be fucking wrapped. He's the king of everybody, you fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, no, but so... And I hate it, actually. I'm going to rant now. I'm going to pick up on this. I didn't like fucking... what's her name? Sansa. She started becoming this ice queen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She became this bitch.
She turned into a massive bitch.
She wanted power for herself. She didn't want to be with Brandon now.
No.
That is bullshit. I would have thought she'd be happy for him and say,
You know what would have been
unite
cool?
the North for you, Bran.
Yeah.
I'll help the North.
Yeah, but that, you know what? Her becoming queen in the end stuck to the fact that she had become a bit of an ice bitch at the end.
She was a bitch, man.
Yeah.
They should have played. They could have played on that even more.
Yeah,
make
they
her
could have,
really dark.
easily.
They could have made her. They could have made her knife Jon Snow.
Yeah.
That would have been
Now
interesting.
that was ridiculous. Okay, two things that were ridiculous about Jon Snow. Firstly, he goes back to the wall.
Yeah.
But then he leaves his what was the dog's name?
Oh my God, he doesn't even say bye to freaking.
What was his name? Oh, I got a mental blank. Sorry.
Ice.
He's direwolf, whatever it is.
He's direwolf.
What's his name?
Oh shit.
No.
No, that's going to annoy all of us now.
Shit.
Quickly Google that. That's bad. I got a brain fart. I can't remember it. I'm having a bad day. I'm having a bad day. I can't remember shit. What was his People are yelling at us going,
Yeah, it's this.
You don't know anything. Well, you know what?
Ghost.
That's it.
Ghost. He leaves Ghost.
I know, without so much as a little farewell cuddle.
Does he leave him before that though? And then when he goes to the wall, Ghost follows him. I think he leaves him.
No,
before.
remember? Okay, so initially when he's going down south, he leaves him with Tormund.
That's right.
Okay, which I think is a good.
No, I don't agree with that because he was by his side all the time.
Yeah, but going down south for a direwolf is not exactly good for them.
Mate, I reckon it'd be awesome. He'd rip the shit out of everything.
Either way, whatever decision he made, the fact that he just didn't even, be like, oh, hey, buddy, fond farewell because you've saved me 1,000 times, guarded my dead corpse while I came back to life and whatever else. Just to look and then just walk off. Like, you don't do that to your pet, man.
No,
you don't do that to your pet.
You know what? I would have been happier if they didn't make that last season. Just left it completely cliffhanger at the end.
No, I think at the end of the day they were snookered because they didn't have a source material to go off, and I think they, up until a certain point, people forget that the source material ran out well before this fuck up.
Oh yeah.
Right? So I actually give them credit where credit's due. They were doing an okay job. What I think were the big mistakes were they could have easily given it at least one more season to flesh it out.
Into a corner.
They backed themselves into a corner. They should have taken HBO up
Take
on the
your
offer,
time,
and they should have said, give us
story.
another 8 episodes for season 9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We'll take you up on that offer, because we've got so much material that we need to flesh out to make it sensible.
Just tell me why Bran becomes the king.
And then
just start with that.
Exactly.
Oh,
And then all the shit with the Iron Islands and the storyline.
There's so much they could have done.
And that did not get fleshed out in
No.
the way that it should have.
No.
The alliance between Yara and Daenerys.
No.
And Daenerys pretty much just she gets there, she knocks everything down and she dies.
Yeah, that was dumb.
So
That was
dumb.
dumb.
It was so dumb.
That-
We didn't even actually witness, she really actually should have gotten on the throne and
Started making bad
decisions or, there should have been
That
more
made
of that.
But you know what made no sense anyway was Jon Snow and their little love affair, or they want to sort of kind of be a love affair between him and his auntie.
Aunt.
Which is fucking weird,
Yeah.
right?
No, but it's not that weird in the context.
Weird in that context.
No, I know,
yeah.
but it's still a bit weird when he's got his pick of anybody. He can have.
but she is pretty hot.
He stopped. As soon as he
He
realised,
did, and
he
then
was
she
just
got
like,
a bit. But she got a bit weird over it.
yeah, because she's a fucking
You
She
know
likes
why?
to dig.
Targaryen.
You know why?
Incest is just
you know
normal.
why?
That's what they do.
She wanted a little bit of Jon Snow. She wanted a piece of his meat.
Yes. It
And
was
I'll tell you
very
what-
obvious.
Do you know what I didn't know?
What?
And I've only just learnt this recently.
What's
So no, I can't remember her name. So remember Jon Snow's original flame, the Northerner?
Yes.
They're married
They're
together.
married in real life. I didn't know
Did
that.
you know?
She's fucking hot,
She's
man.
Rose Leslie.
Oh,
Smoking.
she's a
She's
redhead.
beautiful.
She's beautiful, mate. She's a. I'll tell you what. I've had this discussion, and I'm going to offend people, but sometimes redheads can be ridiculously hot.
And she is.
Wait.
She's one of those.
I have
hot
a
ones.
sound theory about this, and I express it to
I've got-
many people.
Yes.
Okay,
I've got-
and it's this. My theory has held firm
Yep.
for a long time. Redheads,
Yep.
you're either butt ugly
Yep.
or you are smoking
Yeah, there's
hot.
no in-betweens.
There is no,
No,
in between
no,
with you.
no.
That I've never met. I've either
No.
okay, those who fall in the unfortunate category shall remain nameless, obviously.
They're probably nice people.
They're
though.
very nice people. But it kind of go, well, You know, there's the average looking, but then there's, man, you did not win in the looks lottery at all.
So what's her name again? The actress that married Kit Harington.
Rose Leslie.
She is beautiful, man.
She's beautiful. She's also in Downton Abbey, fun fact.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Has she got that accent, and that's her normal accent, yeah?
No, she's proper refined. So her family is actually some form of, actually, I may be making this up, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure they're either extremely wealthy or there's some form of aristocracy
So
involved
that wasn't
in there.
her accent?
No.
She put that
has
accent on?
Yes,
Wow.
she has a proper refined,
She made herself sound really like one of our friends who's going to come on the show.
softly spoken British girl.
So she's got a Cockney accent like a friend of mine who's coming on the podcast soon. An Englishman. No, she's pretty. She's very, very
beautiful.
pretty.
Oh, she's an
and you can
absolute
imagine
stunner.
her all dressed up in that. Oh, fuck. But I've got there's another theory. Shout out to the retro skater. He used to have a theory about redheads when I used to work with him. Male redheads. Right? You ready for it? This is going to offend a heap of people. Don't give
care.
a fuck.
Okay.
Male redheads,
Yeah.
they're either going to be gay or they're going to be fucking psychotic fighters. There's no in between.
No, that's not true. I know.
They're either crazy fighters or they're gay.
Crazy fighters.
Like they're fucking psychotic.
MMA
like,
fighters.
like they
McGregor.
just
no,
want to
I have hard
karate
proof
chop
that,
everything.
that's not true.
No?
No, because my best friend, shout out to Tracy, is married to Scott, who is a redhead.
Shout out to Scott the redhead.
Scott the redhead.
I'm sorry, Scott.
And
So he's clearly
I can
not gay.
guarantee you he is neither gay nor is he going to be punching up anybody anytime soon.
No, but there's a subset.
Oh, there's a subset.
Yeah. So there's redheads with blue eyes and redheads with brown eyes.
Okay, yeah, he's blue-eyed.
Okay, I think they're normal.
Oh.
We've offended everybody. I'm sorry.
Okay, Scott, you're normal. It's all
You're normal,
right.
Scott. It's okay.
It's fine.
But you know what? If you've got other feelings, it's okay too. It's
It's totally
Scotty.
fine.
It's
you can
totally
change
There's something you're not telling me.
You can do it for
all
one
you
day
gotta
and-
do, all you got to do, redhead Scott. Shout out to you. Just have a smashed avocado, mate. You're fucking free to do whatever you want. This is a bad podcast, man.
He's a
We're gonna
prick.
get stoned.
Is there anyone else we want to
by people.
offend?
No.
Oh, China. I've already done that. 1.3 billion people.
Yeah, I edited the
What
fucking...
problem?
Oh, that's right. That's why you called him Mussolini.
Yeah, because he fucking censored me. I ranted about China for half an hour. He cut it
That's
all
longer
out.
than
and I
half
called
an
him-
hour.
Okay, well, let's not go down that path again.
And he said,
I don't want to edit shit today.
No, he
Yeah,
wants.
yeah.
I'm going to help you. I'm going to try and help him out today. I'm going to be on my best behaviour. But going back to Game of Thrones, what's
Yeah.
that? Oh, you want a bit of paper?
I don't
Yeah,
even think
I do.
Game of Thrones was on our list
It
today.
wasn't on our list, but it was a good segue. I
No,
enjoyed
so
it.
have you got everything you wanted to say about Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I did.
Because I forgot about that, by the way.
Yeah, I did too, and
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. But look, in conclusion,
Yes.
I'm devastated because I really, really loved that show.
Oh, mate, I loved it. You know
I loved
what?
that show so much.
Yeah, same.
And then season 8,
Yeah.
it was like I was ready to have a really delicious
But you know
bowl
what?
of Fruit Loops, and somebody just went, here, let me piss in it,
Yeah.
and take a dump in it, and stir it all around.
Like
and
Star
then
Wars.
go.
Do you know the funny thing with it, though? It's not binge-worthy, that last season.
No, it's terrible.
Nah.
I fell asleep. That
Yawn.
fucking fight scene at Winterfell, you couldn't even see it.
Oh, wait, see,
No, I get that, though.
good fun fact was we coincidentally just had like a little lamp on and the lights were off.
Yeah.
So we actually saw everything the first time
Yeah.
round. And then I went back and watched it with just the normal, living room light
you
on. I'm
know-
like, there's nothing. I see nothing.
Do you want to know something? This is really nerdy shit. When I had my TV calibrated, shout out to the calibrator. You
He paid a fuck hundreds of dollars
Yeah.
to come and calibrate his TV.
You can pay people and they calibrate your
And he
TV to
did.
industry standard. Do you know this?
No.
Yeah, I've got my TV calibrated.
What does it make a difference?
Yeah, fucking oath. It's called the Rec 709 standard. Google that bullshit. That's what movie pictures are filmed. Like, that's a standard with picture color. So I had a guy come over. You reckon I'm a nerd? This guy's a bigger fucking nerd.
Yeah.
He put this strobe thing on my TV and hooked it up to a computer. And he's telling me, yeah, the red's it's too much red, too much green. I'll do this. And he
Wow.
spent 3 hours calibrating my TV. And apparently, the reason why you can't see the Winterfell battle
Yeah.
is because your blacks are crushing. There's too much black. That's your technical term for today, kiddies.
Oh.
Right? You got you
Calibrate your TV.
Calibrate
you
your
fucking
TV.
idiots.
And
Spend a couple $100 and calibrate it.
that's right, like Retro Dan.
We'll leave his contact details in the fucking
Yeah,
credits.
he's fucking.
We'll give him some business.
He's fucking good.
He doesn't need it.
He doesn't. He's got his ass hanging out, man. He's got. I'll tell you now. That's a great job.
Yeah.
If you know what you're doing. Yeah. He just sits there, drinks coffee, and adjusts your TV set.
That sounds brilliant.
So he gets free coffee and calibrates the
Yeah.
TV.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds like a fucking bliss.
It's like the old
I
man.
had the wrong life.
That's like the old man. This is a mini ram.
So you're going to roll it? Be gentle.
Roll it, monkeys. We haven't done it for a while. No, this is a very, very, very quick one.
Okay.
Yeah, you always say
So
that.
I had the TV calibrated
Yes,
by this
yes,
guy. You can
yeah.
look at Google the TV calibration. It's real, right? And the old man,
Yeah.
right? We go back to like the very early 80s here. But he used to visit my grandmother. So my mum's mum, rest in peace. He knows what I'm about to say. My grandmother used to always watch the tennis, like
Yeah.
the Davis Cup, Wimbledon.
sounds
you
like my mum.
You
Yeah.
name it,
Fucking
man.
loved
she
it.
Yeah.
loved the tennis.
Yeah.
You used to
Mills
go-
and Boone and tennis.
Yep. Used to go over there, right? And you do a couple of things. You go through a cupboard and see how many Mills and Boone books she's got. Mate, she had about hundreds of them. Hundreds, right? She loved that shit.
Yeah.
But she'd also watch the tennis, and you'd sit there and you'd say, "Can I watch something else, Grandma?" She goes, "No, don't touch it." Then she'd light up a cigarette,
Yeah.
right? And I'd say, "How many is that today, Grandma?" Because you'd always be, I don't smoke. And she goes, "Hey," and she'd point a finger at you, and she'd go, "I only have 8 cigarettes a day." I go, "Okay, bye. What, morning tea?" She goes, "Don't get smart," right?
Sounds like me in 50
Yeah.
years.
Oh yeah, she's a cracker. Well, anyway, she watched TV
And the scotch.
She'd always have scotch.
Yeah.
This is the best bit. Every afternoon at 3:00 in the afternoon, she'd have a scotch and soda. That's no bullshit.
Yeah.
And I used to say to Mum, "I think she's an alcoholic." Mum would go, "No, she's not." I go, "Well, how come she gets the shakes if she doesn't have a drink?" And Mum would go, "Oh, that's just she's got a nervous twitch." I go, "Yeah, but how come it's worse when she doesn't drink alcohol?" She'd always drink no bullshit in the
Yeah.
afternoon. And
Was it just one though, or more?
No, she had a couple.
Okay. Yeah.
So fun fact about that. Remember how she used to have those blue containers, those blue glass containers with chocolates in them in a fridge?
Oh yeah, I remember.
I've got them upstairs.
Oh bullshit!
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
she used to
I'll show it to you.
She used to have sweet because she was a diabetic, and so a real big trick. Because you got to go. Remember, in the early 80s, I'm talking like 81, 82, 83, she'd have like massive diabetic issues, and back then I don't think diabetic chocolate was as prevalent as it is today.
Yeah.
So as a birthday present, we used to buy. It was a bit lame. We'd buy a chocolate as kids, right?
Yeah.
And she loved it
Yeah.
because she loved her sweets. But she had all these sweets in the fridge,
Yeah.
like chocolate in these blue jars. And you go, "What's that? Who's that for, Grandma?" "Oh, it's for the kids." So it fucking wasn't. She'd be eating it. She got to that point where she didn't give a shit, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, she'd light a smoke, have a scotch and soda, and she'd watch the tennis. This
Yeah.
was with bliss, and we get dropped off there to have like babysitting.
Yeah.
And Mum and Dad would go out. Anyway, when Dad used to come there to drop us off, he'd look at the TV and he'd go, "Hey Joyce," that was the name. "Hey Joyce, I think your TV's off," and he'd adjust the colours, right? And he'd go, "That's better," and he'd fuck off. And my grandmother would go,
Lose her shit.
She'd lose her shit. She'd turn to me and she goes, "I love your father, but if he ever touches my TV again, I'll get the wooden spoon and smack him. I don't care how old he is," right? And so one day, we're sitting there, and the tennis was on. We get dropped off again. Mum and Dad are going out somewhere. We're only little, and she's got the scotch and sodas ready. She's got chocolates for us, but a couple for herself.
Yeah.
And she's got a pack of Winnie Blues ready to go.
Yeah.
Right. And so anyway, we're sitting there watching TV. Dad comes in and goes, "Oh, Joyce, you got to get a new TV. This is all off." And he's adjusting the colours, right, like a calibrator.
Yeah.
Right. And then then one day she says, "Don't you dare touch my TV ever again!" And she gets a wooden spoon and she chases him with a wooden spoon.
Do you know what else comes to mind when I think of Grandma?
Ring-a-ding-ding, baby.
That's right, ring a ding ding. That's
That's
the
not
main
one.
lady.
That's not one of them.
What's
but
that?
you know what? I always remember two things: the Datsun
Oh yeah,
and the drive-through grog shop that Mum used to buy the scotch from.
She used to drink quite a bit.
Yeah.
So Mum used to take her shopping.
Yeah.
Right. This is back before online shopping. All this shit.
Yeah.
So Mum used to drive this Datsun 1000
Yeah.
like for about 40
How many
minutes.
times did you burn yourself on the belt buckle?
Oh, heaps. Because in summer, the sun would get so hot, the belt buckle would be like...
Yeah. We've all been there.
Yeah, and your fucking skin would burn touching
Yeah,
it, right?
yeah.
And Mum would say, "I'll just open up the windows to let the heat out." Oh, that really makes a fucking difference. People don't get how cars have changed, man. Every
Yeah.
car now has pretty much got air conditioning.
Yeah.
Back then, bullshit, it was a fucking luxury.
Yeah.
Right? And so while Dad was driving around in a brand new Ford Falcon with fucking air conditioning as a company car, Mum was driving a Datsun 1000. It was a fucking death trap.
Yeah.
You ever seen Death Proof?
Yeah.
That fucking stunt movie with mate. That was Mum's fucking Datsun 1000.
We had
it
an
was
old
a death trap.
mustard yellow station wagon Mitsubishi, right, with the brown suede seats
Oh, yeah,
inside.
they used to be they used to be so hot.
Oh my god, it was
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
And it had no aircon.
No.
And it was like,
This never had
and we
aircon.
used to drive to Sydney in this bad boy,
Oh, yeah.
right,
Yeah.
from Muswellbrook to Sydney, just 3 hours in. Oh my god. I feel
Painful.
ya. It's painful.
It was bad.
Yeah.
So anyway, Mum used to take her shopping because it's her mum.
Yeah.
She used to buy all of her shopping, but she used to eat like a bird. Mum eats like a bird, but my grandmother used to eat less. And
Yeah.
as she got older and older and sicker and more
Yeah.
frail, even more so.
Yeah.
But she used to take her shopping. And it was fucking customary.
Yeah.
She'd always stop off at the cigarette shop and buy a carton of smokes.
Yeah.
And then no bullshit, they go through the drive-through fucking liquor barn
Yeah.
or whatever it was
Yeah,
called.
yeah.
And she'd always buy scotch and soda. She had more scotch and soda than anything in her fridge. And I used to say to Mum, I think she's got, as I got older, I kind of cottoned on her. I go, I think she's got a drinking problem. And Mum goes, no, she hasn't. I go, well, fuck, Mum, I'm not that smart, but she's got more grog in her fridge than
Yeah,
she
than
does
food,
food.
yeah.
Right? And I know she's eating those sweets because they go down in the jar.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and no one's been here, right? She goes, I buy them for the kids. Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah,
okay,
sure,
fucking
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But she'd sit there and Dad would come in and go, TV's off, Joyce. And he fucking changed the TV colour. And then one day, no bullshit, she went into the kitchen, got a wooden spoon and went around and hit Dad on the hand with it. That was no bullshit. There's your ram.
Oh my god.
So we've gotten over
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, Picard. I'm satisfied with what we said about Picard.
Yeah.
I've got some hope, but you know what the problem is with Picard?
Yeah.
Netflix won't pick it up because they're not willing to go through the bullshit they went through
With Discovery.
With Discovery.
What you're saying is it's a very expensive little thing for them to invest
so
in.
Netflix are wiping their hands with it.
Yeah.
And so therefore it looks like Amazon Prime is going to take
Yeah.
it.
Interesting.
So I don't know what the fuck that means for us. Have we got Amazon Prime here?
Yeah, we've
we
got
do.
Amazon
Have we got
Prime. It's
Amazon
not
Prime?
cheap though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, this is what my point is.
Yeah, but then,
all these distributors, whether
Yeah.
they're games or movie distributors, they want their own streaming services, and they go,
Yeah.
"Oh,
So
it's
Amazon
It's
Prime's-
only fucking
yeah.
$10 a month, yeah, but it adds up."
Amazon Prime is more than just streaming though. It gives you that better or priority service.
You
in
get
actual
better
Amazon.
discounts on.
Oh,
But yeah,
Yeah.
not so much discounts, but better. Like if you live in the US, you get next day delivery for
yeah,
free.
but you also
Oh,
get
wow.
better.
you don't
discounts.
get that shit here, so it's
Yeah.
really not worth
No,
the
Yeah, you
$100
get-
a year.
Amazon here in Australia is
It's
fucking shit.
ridiculously
So
expensive.
bad.
It's shit.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a failure. That's
It's an absolute failure. Right.
Yeah.
It's an absolute disgrace.
Why is that though?
I just don't think they've got the
They
ability.
don't have the
to-
distribution.
They don't have the distribution
Yeah.
hubs. You know,
Yeah.
like they can't.
Oh, here we go.
the logistics,
back
boy.
to your stomping ground.
That's right. They can't deliver in the same way they do in the US because
Yeah.
they just don't have. See, in the US, what people forget is they've got so much population in the middle of the continent there or the country. They can transfer items very quickly, whereas
Yeah.
in Australia it's pretty much the East Coast,
Yeah.
right? And I used to tell people when I was working that to get something on road from Sydney to Perth, that was 6 to 7 days.
Easy. I mean,
Right.
for God's sake,
That-
express post from Sydney to Perth, when I send something to my parents, it's still 2 days.
Yeah.
It's 2 days,
Yeah,
even
but-
express.
That's fucking by air.
That's
Yeah.
by air.
Yeah.
You know, so Amazon is always going to push shit uphill
Yeah.
to be anywhere near as popular as it is in the US. It never will be.
It
And
never will.
Well, they've only
primarily-
got 2 distribution centers. They've got one in Sydney and one in Melbourne.
so they're fucked.
Really, they need
Yeah.
one in Brisbane and then they need one in
Well,
Canberra.
they'll probably do Brisbane. That's easy because Brisbane's pretty populated
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Because you got all of the Gold Coast
That's it.
region as well.
Yeah.
So the East Coast will be fine.
Yeah.
But if you try and get shit to Adelaide, are you going to go? Adelaide's a small
Not even
population.
that. Just
Yeah,
getting, just getting
tiny.
a.
And then you got to talk about Western Australia. So you're only talking about Perth, but the rest of the Western Australia is fucking huge.
Huge.
Right? And it's remote.
Yeah.
And there's nothing there in terms of like a distribution
populations
hub,
of 200
right?
people.
Exactly.
Right. So are you telling me that they'll never do that next day delivery
No,
bullshit
never.
like they do in the US?
No.
We just don't have the population.
What they'll do
right?
is they'll say next day delivery within Sydney Metro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, for us, we're fucked.
Yeah.
You
So-
can't get it in a day. It's impossible.
So long story short, when I looked at that trailer, it didn't make me want to subscribe to Amazon Prime.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah.
I can't be fucked.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't matter if it turns out to be good or not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay another $10, $15 a month for one show.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So I'm not interested in it. Even if it looks better, arguably, than what I've seen so far in Discovery, and it does, I'm not interested in it. But I'm glad to hear that they're moving towards more of a toning down of the New Trek themes and the Kelvin timeline themes, and they've got Patrick Stewart writing stuff for them.
Yeah.
Great. I'm happy, right?
Yeah. Makes me feel a bit more confident.
It does, but I don't think, and it doesn't matter what they fucking do, Patrick Stewart or no, they won't get near Next Generation. And I'm sure if you and I happen to see it, there'd be something in it that will piss us
tick us off.
It will. Yeah.
Right. And look, see, it just, the problem there is, and exactly like you said with signing up on another platform, like, so when Game of Thrones first came out, I did not watch it in legitimate ways. Sorry if I get sent to jail after this. But then when I had to, because I was so invested in it and it was so freaking good, I was like, screw it, I'll sign up to Foxtel Go, which is like $10 a month or something.
Yeah, that's all right.
And then
it's good for you, like on your mobile. That's actually pretty handy.
Yeah,
like, I will...
On TV, it is the shittest app ever. It is so non-user friendly. It's atrocious.
They're a long way behind, and the reason they're a long way behind is
bad.
fucking. I refuse to pay for Foxtel. Murdoch, when he came out,
you've heard they're merged with Netflix.
Yes, I know, which is making me very angry.
But you know what? I told the old man, no, it's not fucking all beer and Skittles. Because he was all excited. I said, no, you need a fucking Netflix subscription. They're not just going to give it to you for free.
No. God, no.
And he said, what do you mean? I go, you don't get it for free. It'll be on your fucking TV.
Yeah, but
right?
you still have
but
to
you got to have a
for it.
Netflix account. He goes, what does that mean? I go, mate, that means 15 or whatever it is bucks a month.
Yeah. Yep.
He goes, are you serious? I go, mate, they're not doing shit for you.
Yeah.
I said, all they're doing... Right, actually, I'm going to be a fucking nerd again, going back to my Calibrator thing.
Yeah.
It's actually a backward step.
Yeah.
Because the apps in most TVs, like smart TVs, will play Netflix content natively.
Yeah.
So if you've got a Dolby Vision enabled TV, it'll play it in Dolby Vision or HDR, right?
Yeah.
Providing you've got the internet connection.
Yeah, providing you've got all that stuff. But guess what? Foxtel, even the IQ4 store doesn't support that shit.
Yeah.
So I'm getting less...
Than what you would get
I would
separately.
have.
Yeah.
Right? So even though I've got a Netflix account and I know I'll probably hook it up with the IQ4, right? I'm going to get less quality using that bullshit than I would just using my remote and hooking up my TV's inbuilt app.
Yeah.
I said to my dad, there's not one fucking thing about that made me go, that's great.
Yeah.
Not one thing.
Yeah.
All they've done, and you know what the biggest insult is? They'll give you a remote free if you've been a Foxtel subscriber for over 8 years.
Oh my God.
Can you believe the greed of that bullshit?
Years.
Yeah, I think it was 8 years, or it's got to be a number of years.
Yeah.
Right? You don't get one for free.
You see that of like 2 years or something?
They should be giving everybody that's a current subscriber that's paying some bullshit amount every month a fucking remote. That's what they should be doing.
You can have your service, but you're not getting a remote. You're fucked.
What they're saying is you can have your service. You don't need... All the remote has is a dedicated Netflix app on it.
Yeah.
Whoopie-doo-dah, right?
Yeah.
You can scroll across to your Netflix menu, right?
Yeah.
But they're not doing anything for you.
Yeah.
And the only you know what it is? I kind of smelled a rat.
Yeah.
Because they're two struggling platforms going into bed with each other.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Netflix, I couldn't work it out. I was watching videos of people going, Netflix is dead. I'm like, but that's the future, isn't it? Streaming's the future. That's what you told me, you fucking ingrates.
Yeah.
But no. No, it's not, because all these other movies pitches are like CBS, Paramount, Disney, it's like games, like Bethesda, Ubisoft, all those. Everybody's going their own.
Hey, wait, we can make our own money.
Their own little streaming service, and they're saying, pay us $10 a month and you'll get our games, and we make it look attractive. And I couldn't work out why Netflix all of a sudden was not being seen as favourable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the reason is they're plucking all their content off it.
And now we're going to have like 5,000 subscriptions to be able to watch like universal content.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And you know what? In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, what goes around comes around. You know what? People used to put shit on cable, but all of a sudden, cable doesn't look so bad. Because now, it's a bit like the PC.
Yeah.
It's all so fragmented, and I want to pay all this money for everybody.
Yeah.
Fuck off. I just want one box.
Don't get me started on that shit, because I'm so furious about Shenmue 3.
Well, that's another topic. Do
Yep.
we want to pick that up now? Or do
No,
we wanna leave
I
it?
reckon we
Leave it.
I reckon we call it.
Yeah.
We're an hour in.
Oh, that we could have the shortest podcast we've ever had.
I reckon we do.
What
reckon we
else
do.
was on our list? Have we covered everything else?
We had
What do we got? We might call it.
I think we call it.
Let's fucking call it.
Yeah.
This is a record, folks. This is the quickest pod.
We've taken your feedback on board.
Yes, we're taking your feedback.
We're cognizant of your
Yes.
time and we're very appreciative.
Oh, has that
if you
has
like
that been the feedback?
Yeah,
that has been the
yeah,
feedback.
it has been the
If
feedback.
you like the podcast, please do subscribe. Please
Yes,
do
please
share.
do.
Share with your friends.
No, I've actually got. You know what? Because I listen to podcasts and they've always got like an ad through the middle.
Yeah.
I've actually got one today, and we're not sponsored by them.
Is it Fleshlight?
No, Fleshlight won't talk to
Is
me
it
anymore.
realdolls.com?
No.
Is it Pornhub.com?
No, actually, before you go,
Right.
before we end it,
Yeah.
very quickly,
Yeah.
do some research on
Real dolls?
No, Alinity. Her name's Alinity.
Okay.
She's I hate using the word, but we'll say it.
Thought.
Okay.
Who was just recently caught throwing her cat over her head while she was streaming content.
Right.
Like she had the cat in her lap and she's on a microphone like this and she said something in Spanish and she's hoiked it over her head.
Was it Minkia?
No. I don't know what the word was, but she hoiked it over her head, and she's sort of like, get away from me. But she did it a pretty aggressive way. And so everybody's come out. Everybody
Yeah.
has
How's
said
that not breach of terms?
exactly, but she's still standing.
Of course.
So it goes
she
back. It
is.
goes back to what we said in a podcast we
Yes.
did together.
Yeah.
She can throw a pussy and everyone's staring.
That's right. She can throw her pussy over her head. She still gets away with it. But you know what? It goes back to double standards
Yeah,
again, and
yeah.
I'll rave about it. If a guy did that, he would be fucked. I'm telling you now.
You'd actually have a lawsuit
He'd
against
be
you
gone.
by RSPCA.
Well, actually, somebody said that she should be
Animal cruelty.
She should be investigated for animal
Yeah,
cruelty because
yeah.
that is pretty cruel.
Yeah, that is
I mean, it's
horrible.
one thing that like to pick the cat up and go fuck off.
Yeah.
It's another thing to pick the cat up and throw it over your head. And
Yeah.
have a look at the video.
I will.
I'll show you
Okay.
at lunch.
Yeah.
And she literally threw the cat over her head. But to end the podcast,
Yeah. Okay.
I do have a little commercial.
Okay,
I'm
go.
going to try and get ready for when we sell out and we go fucking
Ham. Yep.
Everybody, please do help
and
us
we
sell
do,
out.
and we
Yeah.
sell
That is
out.
our goal.
And
Yeah.
you know what we sell out, and we have like everybody. Like you sent me a message going, "Wouldn't it be great if I won $1 million and become a full-time member of your podcast?"
fuck,
Yes.
I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Right?
too.
And we get on a Patreon, and we have all
Yes.
these bullshit Patreon like Retro Dan will show how small it is in winter if you donate $2.
God.
Right? But
Yeah.
but I'll tell you what. Here's my little ad.
Okay.
If you want to get our podcast on the best app you can possibly get, so go and download Castbox. Castbox is your number one app for all podcasting, and we are on Castbox. And Castbox, thank you very much for doing your update through the week. You have fixed the problem of the streaming issue where it would drop out repeatedly for no reason. It now works perfectly. Castbox is the number one app you should use for all podcasts, whether it's our podcast, which is absolutely pathetic, or a fantastic podcast like, I don't know, Joe Rogan Experience. Download Castbox today. Dun dun. What a sellout!
Now, can someone please pay us for that advertisement?
Yeah. Exactly. Please.
Castbox, pay me, you bitch!
Someone has to pay for the lunch. Jesus
That's
fuck.
right.
That's
it's
it.
getting
That's
expensive.
it.
Sassy Suhini, thanks for coming back in.
Always a pleasure. Love being here. Thank
I
you
know.
for having me. Thank you for letting me rage about the Night King.
I'm sure there'll be some more rage.
Oh, you know what?
We haven't done
Rage
enough.
Against the Night King. That's a band name. Waiting.
Rage
Oh, he
Against
gets
the
a Night King.
That's a good one. I bet you there's a bunch of nerds out there that are
It's
doing
probably
it.
it's probably already been
I bet
done.
I bet it is.
Yeah, we got to Google it.
Thank you, Jason Relaxation, for being in. Don't go or changing. This has been Invert the Why episode. Captain Zog Stardate Log 12.1.5. I'm sorry I read it about the Night King and fucking Game of Thrones. I can't help it. I've been reading those books since I don't know, the mid-2000s. It's a rabbit hole I can't get out of, and I was very pissed off about how the show ended, and I can't forgive D&D for fucking letting the show slide so badly off the fucking radar. And I'm kind of a little bit pissed off that, I don't know, Picard isn't looking as bad as it could look, because I'd really like to rant about that, but I haven't got an excuse because it didn't look that bad. And next week, you the fucking little ingrates that want to eat smashed avocado and walk around in Star Trek spandex suits with bulges and camel toe. We'll talk about some more retro and more bullshit, but until then, you can roll it, monkeys!